Castlevania, a video game classic, just a good old tale of vampire hunters and monsters. Each game usually has you playing a new generation of the Belmont family in their never-ending fights against Dracula and his creatures of the night. You see, most games would make you some hero in armor and have you fight monsters with a sword. But Castlevania decided to make you ripped as holy heck, gave you some rope and told you to slap Dracula until he goes back to bed. Unfortunately, thanks to Konami, the company that owns Castlevania, the series has been pretty much as dormant as Dracula after long nights of drinking blood. Castlevania might have slowly faded into obscurity if it weren't for the Netflix series, which is actually based on the third game but takes place before Castlevania 1, capiche? Anyways, there hasn't been the new Castlevania game since 2014, and that's only if you count the 3D reboot. If you're looking for the original series, you have to go back to 2009. But today we're going all the way back to the original, released in 1986. The Castlevania series has become known for its exploration, backtracking through a large map and tedious RPG elements. But a lot of early Castlevanias were relatively straightforward. Castlevania 1 is a simple game in which you kept moving rights, killing everything in your path, and on special occasions and holidays even left. You play as Simon, who looks like he came straight out of JoJo's. Coincidentally, JoJo was first published in 1987 and also featured buff men and vampires. Must have been a popular theme at the time. Anyway, enough backstory, let's just get started. So things start off pretty simple. Beat up some enemies and you can break candles and such to find weapons and holy items. Convenience of Dracula to just leave them lying around his house. If you get hurt, you can try to break every nook and cranny to find some chicken in the wall, but you better hurry, that stuff has an expiration time of 5 seconds before it turns to ash. Like a lot of retro games, touching enemies sends you back 6 feet, perfect for social distancing. Just hope you don't fall into a hole and die instantly. One thing you got to know is your whip can only hit left and right, so items can be extremely useful. Hopefully you found the axe, which lets you throw it upward and chop down a big bat. Moving on, things start to get pretty hairy, and not in a good way. Medusa heads start flying around, pushing you to your death. Castlevania also wasn't too forgiving. You can't move or control your character in the air, and you have no double jump. There's also traps that can kill you instantly. Fortunately, game overs aren't the end of the world, as you just restart after the previous boss. You might think that's not a big deal, but a lot of old games made you start from the beginning, Lord, I feel old. The next boss you face is Queen Snake Lady herself, who isn't too bad. In stage 7, enemies start to get real jumpy.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my rat.
Stairs can be pretty dangerous, but they do give you some holy H2O to splash downward. Quite clever. The third boss can be pretty scary, being sandwiched in between 2 mummies, and not the hot kind. Grab some chicken, and if you're lucky enough, you'll get knocked to one side, letting you wail on both. Somehow, you fall down a massive hole and survive the fall. Simon may have legs of steel, but it also means he can't swim, so remember to duck and try not to fall into the water. At this point, a lot of BS happens, and the game really starts to bully you. Enemies will play monkey in the middle, constantly ganging up and jumping you. Also, skeleton dragons. Next is Frankenstein and Igor, who can be pretty tricky, so it's best to just kill Frankie quickly as possible. Now, the game is done toying with you and starts serving up some real harsh browns. From jumping hunchbacks, skeletons that don't die, and knights that throw boomerang axes and have shields that block most of your attacks. Oh, and I can't forget the Medusa heads are back. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. If the path to the next boss doesn't kill you, Death himself probably will. The problem is that Death will create multiple random scythes that constantly lock onto you, each one doing 4 points of damage, and only having a max of 16 health, you'll die in 4 hits if you are at full health. Need I remind you, Simon is slow as frick. Even if you beat Death, you still have to watch out for his scythes. Once that's done, you're in the home stretch of more death. Now you've got to cross a bridge with several gaps guarded by multiple giant bats, just like the first freaking boss. Get past that area and only to end up in the next level of BS. True bird shenanigans. Make it through and you can probably tell you're about to face Dracula.
You've arrived, Simon.
Just know that sticks and stones may break my bones, but chains and whips excite me. The trick with the counts is that you can only hit him in the face, but he constantly teleports around and shoots fireballs in a spread, which requires you to either hit the projectiles or jump over them perfectly, so you might as well get in a free hit. Luckily, this is one fight they were generous enough to not make you redo the whole area when you get to game over, but you do have to climb the stairway of shame. Should you manage to smack his face enough, he becomes so ugly he transforms into a gigantic monster, but you still have to hit him in the face. If you pick up the holy water, you can also cause him to freeze up and get a few cheap shots in. Rinse and repeat and you should have slayed Dracula, once and for all. I'm joking, of course, but he is defeated for now. And so the credits roll. Of course, this isn't the end of Simon's journey, because once you've finished, the game simply starts you over, but this time making everything extra difficult. So if you do find pleasure in pain, I'm sure you'll enjoy another playthrough. Hey, welcome to the rant portion of the video, where I don't have a script so I can talk more naturally and vent about all the stupid BS in the game. The thing is, I actually don't have a lot of beef with Castlevania, but I do have chicken. That was a stupid joke. But yeah, Castlevania is challenging, but it's not unfair. Unlike a lot of other games of this era, which put a lot of cheap things that feel super unfair. Because for the most part, it's well designed and it gives you all the tools you need. I think the biggest hurdle is you have to have the right mindset. Games like Ninja Gaiden, games like that really want you to run fast and blaze through. But see, Simon is a vampire hunter, but you're still a human entering a castle filled with monsters and traps. So you gotta be slow and methodical. And I think it's awesome because the gameplay really matches the whole tone of the game. Of course, there are two spots I could see being super frustrating for people. The first is death being so freaking random, and it makes you fight them after going through the level, and I wrote down I had a total of 13 continues, and I swear over half of them were just trying to beat him. And then the clock tower right before Dracula. Like, I was super lucky I made it through on my first try, because I did not know what the heck was happening. There was so much going on, it was crazy. But yeah, overall I enjoyed Castlevania, and if you like retro games, I think it holds up. Anyways, I don't want to waste more of your time, so as always, thanks for watching. It'd mean a lot if you subscribed if you haven't already. Let me know if there's a game you want me to check out, and I hope to see you on the next video. Bye-bye!